Byron.
Hi Sonia, how you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Today we're going to be doing an interview regarding your expertise in leather.
Okay, my favourite subject.
How do you decide on what type of leather to use for different products?
Wow, another good question. Different leather. So, if you're going to make a sofa, would you use the same leather as if you're going to make a pair of Louboutin shoes? There are other high value shoes in the market, by the way, not this, not shouting out Louboutin. So leather has different qualities, different thicknesses. Leather comes from different animals. Also depends on the geography. So if you're in Brazil, for argument's sake, Brazil is a huge country. I've been to a place in Brazil where they have a farm the size of Leicester. And also there's, because it's so big, there's no barbed wire. So typically in Brazil you get good cow leather with not a lot of marks on. Tends to lend itself to a massive shoemaking industry. So there's a lot of factors involved. When it comes to footwear, you use high-end leathers for expensive shoes, typically. Low-end leathers for lower expensive shoes. Sofas use thicker leather, and I'm massively oversimplifying this, by the way, because leather is natural raw material. So just to summarise, thick leather for sofas, expensive leather for expensive items like footwear, and in South America you typically use cow leather because of the abundance of it.
Which part of the hide should you be cutting or treating?
Right, okay, so I think leather's really simple. The reason why I think leather's really simple is because we've all got it. It's this. So if you look at your body, there's things that have got wrinkles on, and I'm no spring chicken, although I like to think I'm a young guy, but you can see wrinkles, so you wouldn't use the neck, for instance, on footwear, because you would see wrinkles on the vamp, because the bit of the shoe that you see. You could use the neck or the what's called the offal for sandals, strips of leather. But for proper footwear, where you want to see a very good uniform item that looks great, that feels great and has good wear properties, you typically use the butt, which has the most uniform stretch characteristics. Because in footwear, what you do when you cut leather stretches in two directions, by the way. So you have, if you take a piece of leather and stretch it, in one direction it'll do this, in the other direction it'll be like that. So when you make shoes out of leather, they have a thing that's called tight to toe. So the tight bit has to go in that direction of the shoe. Otherwise the shoes will lengthen in wear and then they won't fit.
Why is it important for leather to be treated?
I think these answers are obvious, but I've been in leather a long time. I was born in leather. When leather comes off an animal, it doesn't look like the nice bags and shoes that you buy in the store. If you picture the scene, it comes off an animal. The animals are killed for the meat, by the way, so leather is a byproduct of the meat trade. It is the first naturally sustainable material in the world for thousands of years. So leather needs to be treated because when it comes off an animal, it looks like the animal, and that may not be desirable to the consumer. It also has to be treated because you want consistency. You don't want two shoes from a different cow to look completely different colours, so you need to colour it, you need to tan it, which is the act of preserving leather, and then you need to finish it to protect it from elements like our lovely British weather, like we have today, which is rain. You wouldn't want your shoes to get wet and start to smell like old dead cows, or I hope not anyway.
How do you prevent leather waste in footwear production?
That is a skill in itself. So in footwear, there's a roll called a clicker. And what that is it's when they cut the leather, and it used to be the noise that the knife makes when you turn the corner, used to go click. And the way they minimise waste is to make the patterns that they cut fit the leather, so you cut them very close to each other. And that way you minimise the waste, because leather is the most expensive material in a pair of shoes. So if your waste is high, the cost goes high, and you can't pass that cost into the consumer. So the clicking, or it's the first stage of the production, is a very skilled job. It used to be the most well-paid job in the shoe factory because it was so conducive to the profits, and that's how you minimise waste in shoe production.
So lastly, what are your thoughts on vegan leather alternatives?
Vegan leather, there is no such thing. Leather is a naturally sustainable raw material, so you either have leather or you have a vegan alternative, which means leather without the animal bit, which has got to be plastic or some form of plastic. I've seen one made of eggshells, but again, you need a matrix to hold it together, so then that matrix is plastic. So in my opinion, they should either be leather, as we know it, comes off an animal, and it does, and it is a byproduct of the meat trade. And I think that should be emphasised more, because leather now is being seen as a dirty product, and I don't think it is. It's a naturally sustainable byproduct of the industry. So the vegan alternatives are typically plastic, and as I'm a leather man, I'm not in favour.
Well, very interesting. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.